Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. So as you would have guessed by the title of this video, it is going to be about how you're supposed to start your prep from scratch or from step zero. So I'm going to break down my whole journey for you so that you can follow me step by step. So if you're someone who thinks that I don't know how to start for FMG, or maybe I'm already lagging behind, people have started before, I don't know if I'll be able to complete this journey or not, don't worry. Even I was at your place. I started my journey from scratch, from point zero. So even you can do it. So let's jump into the video. So step number one is fix your mindset. Yes, before opening any book, fix your mindset. FMG is a clearable exam. It's not that difficult. They don't test how intelligent you are. They just test how consistent you can be. So if you're consistent for these 6 months even, I think you can easily crack this exam, and you don't even need to sit for those crazy 12-16 hours. Even if you manage to sit for 6 to 7 hours, but every day, at least for last 6 months, I think you can totally crack it. I would also like to mention that I've seen a lot of my friends, and even I used to do it back in the days, that we open a lot many subjects at the first go, okay? Even for one subject, we have multiple teachers, multiple resources, and we try to cover as much as possible. But that's not the right way to do it. I would personally suggest do little, do what is high yield, but do it multiple times. I think that's the perfect strategy. Rather than covering every app possible, every book possible, stick to one book, stick to that one resource, but do it fully, do it by heart. I think that is way more practical than completing everything at once. So please stop falling in this FOMO that I have not done that app, that teacher is better. Forget it. Stick to one resource, do less, but do it multiple times. That should be the motto. And I think that will easily help you to crack FMG. Yeah, so that was the summary of point number one for me. That you fix your mindset. It is a clearable exam. It is not testing your intelligence. That's it. And the second pointer that I really want you to stick to is do little, do multiple times, right? Kam padho, bar padho. Please stick to this motto, and I think you can easily crack it. Now let's jump to the next pointer. So I feel there are many apps and there are many good teachers out there. But one thing that you should remember is that if one teacher worked for me doesn't mean they're going to work for you too. Or if someone worked for your friend doesn't mean they're going to work for you too. Everybody has a different way of studying, and every teacher has a different way of teaching. Some work for some, right? So just figure out your teacher. The question arises how to reach your teacher, how to find out that perfect teacher who fits your puzzle. So to reach your perfect teacher, I had a strategy. Yes, of course, talk to your seniors, talk to the people who you think can, give you a suggestion of a good teacher, of course, but do explore before you commit. I think this is going to be so important because at least for those last 6 months, you're going to go back to the teacher again and again. So you have to make sure that they are the perfect one for you. So for this, if it takes, a week of researching, I think that's not a waste of time at all. It's gonna repay eventually. So I would highly recommend that do all the research that's possible. What I did personally was that I watched a lot of YouTube videos because at least demo lectures are available of almost all the teachers and all the apps, right? So you can go through all those apps or like teachers YouTube videos, and you can figure out if they work for you. If someone, like I've seen a lot of people for whom Spurser works, like he's a pathology faculty, but he doesn't work for me. But he's a great teacher, I totally agree. For my senior, he worked, but he didn't work for me. What suited my style of learning was Preeti ma'am, so I stick to her. So that's how it works, right? But what I did to find out that, okay, Preeti ma'am's better for me or Spurser is better for me is that I researched, I watched a lot of YouTube videos, I talked to my seniors. My friend had Prep Ladder, so I tried to contact her. I sat with her, watched a video or two and figured out that, okay, maybe I'm not understanding pathology from Spurser. It doesn't mean he's a bad teacher, but maybe he doesn't resonate with me. I resonated more with Preeti ma'am. But how did that happen? That's very simple. You gotta sit, you gotta research, you gotta find out. And the simple strategy for that is you can watch YouTube videos if you don't have your friends who have different apps or different teachers. Or if your friend has a different app and a different teacher, you can sit with her or him for a video or two and figure out if they actually work for you. Before coming back to India, I think one pointer that you should be clear about is that who's going to be your teacher for which subject. I think it saves you a lot of time because when you finally sit here for those 6 months, or you finally start with your final prep, then figuring out which teacher is going to work for me, and maybe my senior recommended a teacher, but now I'm watching their video, I'm not resonating at all. That wastes a lot of time. I've seen a lot of friends of mine wasting their time. So I would highly recommend that before coming back to India, just figure out your teachers. If you can't complete the whole subject, try to cover at least one topic from that teacher, solve questions and see if that works for you. Because coming here, finding out a teacher is a waste of time, and otherwise what you can do is that you buy an app and then stick to that app, whatever the teacher's teaching, because you'll waste a lot of weeks. If supposedly you don't like some teacher, maybe you come back to India and figure out, okay, this teacher isn't working for you, and then you go back to research, and then you figure out, okay, this app is having this teacher for anatomy, and then you figure out the other teacher. It wastes a lot of time, and then also because you're losing out on time, you get demotivated. So that's a vicious cycle. Please try to save yourself from falling into that pit. So I would highly recommend that before stepping back to India, even if you haven't completed the whole subject, try to complete that one topic from that particular teacher, figure out the work for you for a particular subject, and you're good to go. But that's a must, that before stepping back to India, again reiterating it, but yeah, figure out your teacher. And once you have figured out your teacher, please stick to them. Don't fall into this FOMO of maybe the other one's better, or maybe I'm not understanding this topic from this particular teacher, the other one's teaching better. Please don't do all of it. One subject needs only one teacher. Stick to their resources, stick to their notes, stick to their lectures, and I think, yeah, it'll help you easily pass that exam. Please don't jump from one teacher to the other. This chasing thing is not gonna help you at all. What will help you is consistently following one teacher, and yeah, I think that'll sail your boat. So that was my point number 2, and a very, very important one, that do all the research before you commit. Once you commit, just follow that one teacher. Don't fall into this FOMO. And yeah, I think consistency is way more important than chasing, let me tell you that. Point number 3 is how to solve questions, or question practice in general. So when it comes to FMG preparation, one thing I cannot stress enough is practicing question. Even if you study the whole topic, you watch lectures, you have studied the notes, it is incomplete till the time you have solved questions of that particular topic. Any concept only gets concrete once you solve the question, because a lot of times you read theory and you know about it, at least you think you know about it, but when it comes to its practical use or its practical application, a lot of people fail. So I would highly recommend that don't consider your topic complete unless you have solved the questions of it. These questions only which are going to train your mind for practical application or for recalls. And in an exam, you're not going to see theory questions, right? It's all going to be MCQs, and you have to apply that, right? So you have to practice way before so that you can actually apply it in the exam. And when you solve a question, don't just rush to check the answer. Just pause, take a break. It's not the final exam that you're giving right now, okay? Pause, take a break, see why the other options are not the correct one. Even if you find the right one, the question's right, great, good for you. But always figure out why the other 3 weren't right. What was the keyword in the question that made you pick the right answer, and what would it be, if the keyword was this but it would have been something else, and then the answer would change. Just think that, figure that out, because a lot of times we practice PYQs, but PYQs exactly are not repeated, right? It's the concept that's being tested again and again. So how are you going to build that concept? That is through eliminating, figuring out the answer, not just rushing to that one answer, taking it right and just jumping onto the other one. Don't do that to yourself. Also, don't wait for finish the syllabus and then solve questions. That's never going to happen. And then eventually there are going to be so many Q banks that you will again be demotivated looking at just the number of them. So start early. I would highly recommend, what I used to do was, if for anatomy per se, I have done upper limb today, so today's evening itself I'll solve the upper limbs question of FMG, AIIMS and NEET PG. I used to use these 3 hashtags and they worked for me. So I'd highly recommend that read the topic and make it concrete with the help of MCQs at the same day. Don't wait for the next day to come and follow up and I'll complete the whole anatomy and then jump onto the Q bank. Don't do that. Same day, start early, just do the video, whatever lectures or notes, whatever work for you, and then just jump onto the question and make your concept concrete, because that's the actual test. That's where you will actually get to know if it's working for you or not. And it is not going to be easy. easier said than done, because even when I was, preparing, even I used to feel, let me complete this whole subject and then only I'll, jump onto the questions next. No, but the fear is real. A lot of videos that I watched, even, there it was being said that, okay, just jump onto the questions, do the questions, do the GT, but I could not, because I had that fear. But I would say that if this video is the one which can help you, just start early. You can do this, that if you're solving upper limb at night, at least you can solve upper limbs question of FMG, NEET and AIMS. That will actually help you know what kind of questions are being asked and what you're focusing on is actually high yield or not. So I would highly recommend that try to fight that fear, okay? Just don't fall into that fear. Try to fight it out and solve questions. Sit. Once you start, it becomes easy. The first question is definitely going to be difficult. I'm not, exaggerating. You just will feel that resistance when you start opening that QBank. At least I used to feel it. I used to feel a little bit of resistance before going to the QBank section, but just do it, Yeah, just do it, and trust me, it'll get easier after a little bit. But when you're gonna start, you're gonna face a lot of resistance. I'm already warning you about it, but you gotta face it, you gotta fight it out, and yeah, it'll get better slowly. I hope I have motivated you enough to open that QBank section in your app now. Okay, so let's just figure out what I did and how I approached PYQs for now. So suppose I started with anatomy today, okay, whatever and how much I could cover. I used to do that much portion from videos and notes, and in the evening itself I used to make a custom module. I used to do questions from Marrow. There was an additional feature wherein I could choose topics, so I really like that part about it. So if, say, I have completed upper limb today, so they had that option that I could only choose upper limb, and from that upper limb topic itself I could use the hashtag NEETPG, AIMS and FMG, and also one more that was clinicals. I used all these 4 hashtags together, and then I made a custom module of that one topic. Here we have the example of upper limb, and I used to see how the questions are being asked and what I've focused on and what I've missed out on, and something additional that is being mentioned. So I used to just add it all up to my notes, or highlight whatever the important portion was. So this custom module, I was not focusing on how many am I getting right or whatever. I was just focusing on the pattern of the question being asked. So yeah, that was my whole pointer with solving this one custom module. So it really helped for me. This custom module also gave me an idea about which is the most important topic. Like I could figure out, after solving these custom modules. So if Marrow has, say, 100 QBanks of anatomy only, I know that all those are not important, right? Few of them are important. So I could only figure it out after solving that custom module, because it gave me a little bit of idea. So yeah, this custom module will help you figure out the PYQs. So you can also choose from custom modules which is important, which is not. Once I was done with custom modules, of course those 50 questions weren't enough. I had to solve more, right? So what I did was I went to that particular part, QBank for that matter. Now suppose there are 13 questions, and there will be some weird questions, will just like make no sense, or maybe they are fact based. So how do I include those in my notes? What I did was I used to check the percentage of people who are doing it right. If, say, the percentage of people who are doing it right is say 60 to 80%, if there's any pointer which I'm missing and 60 to 80% people are committing it right, I have to like highlight it in my notes and I have to repeat it again and again, because a lot of people know it and I cannot make that question wrong. Then there was a chunk of questions which were only being committed right by, suppose, say 40 to 60% of people, right? So if that kind of a question came, I saw if it is a concept, I made sure I noted it down and repeated it again and again. If it was fact based, then I used to just like read it once. And then there were questions only 20% or 30% people could do it right, so I just used to give it a read. That's it. If it came again, maybe I'll review it, but for now I used to just give it one read and leave it then and there. So yeah, that was my strategy. I used to check out the percentage of people committing that question right. If it is high, I used to make sure I get it in my head, and if it was low, then I used to just read it out and let it be. So yeah, that's my strategy for solving out the whole QBank thing. Now discussing the most feared part of this whole preparation journey, or maybe my last pointer for this video, that is GTs, Grand Test. I am still fearful of it. I think you are too. Many of us are. I really salute those people who don't fear GTs and they can just go in, because I could not. That is one part. If someone asks me, okay, if you get to re-prepare, then what part would you try to improve? I think that's GTs, because I did not give my first GT unless I was done with my first reading. But would I recommend that? No. A lot of my friends who have scored more than me, they did give their GTs before, and I think that really came handy for them. So if you are someone who's thinking about giving GTs, please do it. Don't be fearful. But what changed in me, that after my first prep I gave my first read, I gave my GT, was the mindset. Someone just told me that don't look at it as a judgment tool. Yeah, because we all are fearful of that one number that's going to show up after the GT, and we're going to be feeling, oh my god, those 3.5 hours or like 5 hours just went into waste. I wasted my whole day and then also couldn't score good marks, and live in demotivation for a while after GT, because GT exhausts you for sure. But change your mindset. Don't look at it as a judgment tool. Look at it as a guiding tool. I was watching a video of some teacher, I don't know who, I just forgot the name, but they mentioned that GTs are like mirror. You definitely want to see a mirror before leaving your house, because you want to see if you can fix something in your body and present yourself better to the world. So why not? So I think that mindset really helped me change my perspective towards GT. So I would highly recommend that to you as well, that don't look at GTs as if that one score is gonna decide your life. It's not going to, right? Yeah, it's all chill. The exam is yet to come. So just make sure that you're not reviewing GT as something which is judging you. Make it your guidance tool. Just know where you can improve and then work on those aspects. So I think if you change your vision a little bit, it can help you step into that pit of GT and then finally getting through it. But I would highly recommend that start early. Same with questions and with GT, start early as possible. Don't wait for your last read, or don't wait for one read to complete. Don't do that to yourself. Please start giving GTs. So remember, giving GT is just 20% of the work. 80% is reviewing it. Yeah, it's really important how you review your GT. Do you add those pointers to your note? Do you ever revisit them again? Otherwise, giving GT is just 20% of it. You'll just figure out, okay, am I able to attempt all the questions, is this much time or not? That is also very important. But what's more important is reviewing it. So here's my strategy, how I reviewed my GT and cleared my FMG. So once you give a GT, of course you see that score, review it the same day. Don't, because you've already wasted your day. It is exhausting, as I said. I don't have the strength to revise some other topic today. So I would highly recommend use that time, use that evening to review a GT, and also try to give the GTs at the same time as your exam. Start at 9 if you're preparing for FMG. Take that break, prepare your mind for that, and also try to complete, see if you're able to complete, because a lot of friends of mine couldn't complete last 3 or 4 questions before that 50-minute window. So train your mind for that, because eventually this is the pattern you have to follow in the final exam. So yeah, I would highly recommend that giving GTs at the time of your exam, so you can fully prepare your mind for that at 9 a.m. in the morning you gotta prepare your mind to attempt that question. I literally lagged a lot of it, so I highly recommend you do it and not repeat my mistakes. Next pointer that I really want to discuss is how you review your GT. So once you've attempted your GT, go to that review section and see what are the red markers. Like, of course, the questions you have attempted have been marked red. See them. Now you figure out the question that's wrong. If it is from the topic you've already studied, then at the same time open your notes, try to highlight where did you go wrong and figure it out in your head. That's very important, because you already know the topic and still you committed it wrong. So we just can't afford that mistake at this point in our journey. So definitely you do that question wrong, whatever question you've done wrong, go back to your notes, highlight that point, and do remember to revise it. Next is the topic which you didn't read and committed wrong. That's fine. There are many topics. There will be many topics. As I said, that this syllabus is like vast. You cannot complete all of it. And anyway, our motto was come padho, bar padho. So that's fine. Like, you can just write it in your notes somewhere. If the topic was something that's not at all mentioned in your notes, write it somewhere and revisit it again when you again reread the notes. But you don't need to be very stressed about this pointer. What you actually need to be stressed about is the topic which you knew about. which you had read already, and still you've committed that wrong. That was my strategy for the ones I did wrong. Now, coming to the questions that I did right. Of course, there are questions which you have read and now you've committed them right. Good for you. But the questions which were just a guess game, they were fluke, tukka tha wo. Just go back to that question as well. It is equally important. Ek baar chal gaya doesn't mean it's going to work every time, right? So go back to that topic as well, highlight it, mark it, try to register it. And yeah, I think this much will help you figure out your GT strategy. This brings us to the end of this video. This was my journey. Few pointers, the mistakes I did, something right which I did. I tried to include all of it in this video because I watched a lot of videos when I was preparing for my journey. So if you're someone who has stumbled upon this video while preparing or before starting your actual prep, you're really lucky. There are some good pointers. I think you should definitely include that in your journey, and I really hope that it works out for you and you to get to clear it in your first attempt. Thank you so much for watching.